Why is generational wealth so important?
Yeah, it's important for our kids, it's important for our community, it's a journey. But the good news is it can start now, it can start with you, it can start with your listeners. It's important so that we don't have to struggle and so that we can serve and help those who are in need. And so, it's kind of a buzzword. You hear generational wealth often, but what does it really mean? And how can you set yourself up for financial success in a way that is wise and will grow over time? And so, yes, I come from several generations of business owners. That doesn't mean that there hasn't been hardship and lessons. I recently mentioned that my great great grandfather had a corner store in Georgia. That's where my family roots go back to. And the state wanted to buy our family's land, and it became contentious within our family. And the land was sold for, a very minuscule amount of money. And then later, the state built an offshoot of I-75 through the land.
Mhm.
And so you can't tell me that land wasn't valuable.
Yes.
Interstate 75, to this day, one of the offshoots goes through our family's land. And we weren't aware, we didn't have that financial education and knowledge at that level. It was amazing that he was a business owner. We're talking early 1900s. That's an amazing feat. But now in future generations, we have the chance to be strategic about things. And so I'm really passionate about it for that reason. My father passed at a very young age before he really could get all the things in place that he wanted to. And he was doing really well in life, but by the time you get a leukemia diagnosis, it's too late to say, do I have a life insurance policy? Do I have my secure growth accounts in place? So you want to prepare for generational wealth now as much as you can.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, it's easier for your children. We don't want a broke mindset of, I struggled, so my kids should. Like, no, we're not doing that here. We want to equip ourselves and equip our children and our communities.
Absolutely. And I think generational wealth, it also should include like financial literacy as well and understanding the value of property, the value of things altogether. So now, is that something that your nonprofit B School teaches as well, or organization?
So what my individual clients, that's what I work with them on exclusively. We talk about what your financial goals are, and then we pull together a personalized plan for it. And I'm licensed to offer specific tools to support you to get there. So we look at, what does secure growth mean? Where can you put your money in safe places where you're not going to lose it and can, lead to generational wealth? I'm not your girl for crypto. I think it's amazing. Also, just I'm not the girl to come to for that kind of thing.
Mhm.
You've got to have foundational things in place
Yeah.
first for the long-term wealth. So that's what I work with my clients on. And then on the organizational side, if they do nonprofit B School, or if I come and offer a training relating to, staffing for their nonprofit and benefits for their nonprofit, then I do that as well.
Gotcha. Well, what conversations and topics do you believe should be discussed when speaking of generational wealth?
Money mindset is critical,
Mhm.
because it relates to our spending habits, it relates to our saving habits, and then it also relates to how we treat our children and set our children up for success. So I think that's important. I talk about, and I was held accountable yesterday, so I'm actually going to record it today. A master class on 23 ways to get college paid for. We're in a student loan crisis, so let's not be a part of it. What can we do to set our family up for educational success and not, be in the hole hundreds of thousands of dollars in the future, because that affects generational wealth. I've seen women look amazing, have the purses, the shoes, the house, and you ask about their student loans, and they've got several $100,000 in
Right.
student loans. So I think those are important conversations to have as well. And then otherwise, the most basic discussion of, what can you do now
Mhm.
to start today. And there is something. And if you've already started and you've got your multiple six-figure portfolio, what can you do to take it to the next level?
Yes, absolutely. And the student loan crisis, that's like a big thing. And I saw something recently where why do companies feel so lenient to give out these student loans, but they don't want to give out business loans? And that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. How 18-year-olds all of a sudden have $200,000 worth of student loan debt, but they don't get
Mm-hmm.
a loan, or those other things that can probably generate income.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole discussion to be had there for sure.
Yeah. Well, do you believe there's a specific range that's considered wealthy regarding generational wealth?
So I would say that it is truly about not only a lifestyle, but also a disposition. So for me, and I think part of why I'm successful in the work that I do, I look at money as a tool. I don't have feelings of greed toward money. Um, I also don't think, the dollars in my bank account are the last dollars I'll ever see, And so, um, and I'm very clear on the global aspect of provision. I don't think I control money. And so framing all of that and setting that up in terms of like what is true generational wealth, I would say I wouldn't give a dollar amount. I would say when you can live comfortably and work if you want to,
Yeah.
without being worried about having a place to live and eating. So I work with clients on their FIRE number. What's your financial independence and retire early number, where work can be optional for you. So that's part of it.
Hmm.
And then if we're really talking wealth, do you have enough for your kids to do the same?
Yes.
And then integrating faith, because faith is important to me, your children's children.
Hmm.
So really being at that point of wealth means you set up yourself, your kids, and your grandchildren.
That's right.
It's a journey. You can start with a little bit and build over time, but I don't think anyone has arrived until we can say that.
Having enough wealth to also generate more income too. So businesses to start, just different business opportunities and things like that. I think that's important to also discuss too.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a very rich question. Um, you want to ensure that you have multiple streams of income, and they can be related streams. You don't have to be out here doing 50 different things. If you notice, the items that I discussed today are still all part of my financial wellness business. I offer training. I offer, the course, for example. I work directly with clients. So there are different streams of income coming in. If you like to do fun things, I have travel, for example. I offer it to my business clients. And you decide and you get smart about, what am I actively pursuing? What am I passively pursuing? And everything is active initially, but you want to make sure you set things up so that you're not burned out, because we're not out here chasing money either. That's not cute. And so you want to pull it together in a strategic way so that it all supports each other. But I mean, a key message that I share is you want to make your money work for you. You don't want to have to work for your money. And that happens over time. That means leveraging specific tools where it can grow on its own. And then also, and everyone's not intended to be a business owner or an entrepreneur, but making sure that you are making the most of the income that comes in.
I love that. Thank you for that.